I'm curious if at Talbot you're seeing sort of similar things.
Yeah, I mean, I think a lot of our clients are saying, we want to retain our people. We want to treat them well and be loyal to them. We want to grow our company with the same amount of people we currently have rather than having to hire new people. So it's more about scaling with the current workforce than it is replacing them. One particular client of ours, he's a very, very conscientious person and specifically is, extremely like would almost rather his company be less profitable than let any of his people go. I understand that's a little more rare. He is a kind of rare CEO in that sense. But I mean, I wanted to, if you want to dive into kind of the larger social implications, we can of this because obviously this is not the first time a wave of technology has come along and replaced a lot of people. And we see it, again and again, looking back through history, going back, as far back as you want to look, really, but obviously accelerating with the Industrial Revolution. That's not to kind of wave away, glibly say, well, this has happened before, because obviously this time it is maybe a bit different, a bit more extreme than before. But the thing that seems obvious to me is every time the inevitability of it. Now, I believe somebody like Rebecca Cummings would say, well, it's not inevitable. We have the ability to kind of shape history. To which I would say the technology itself and the adoption of it is pretty much inevitable at this point. There might be small ways we can sculpt or shape the impact it has on society with policies and incentives and that sort of thing, but we're not going to fundamentally, in any major way, steer this thing. We're not going to put the toothpaste back in the tube. We're not going to stop AI from being developed. We're not going to stop it from being adopted. So fundamentally, I guess what I want to say is when it comes to these larger questions of social displacement, is it all just a lot of hand-wringing, or is there actually anything we can really meaningfully do about it? And what is your perspective on that?
Ooh. Oh, wow. So, one, I get the toothpaste back in the tube. I've been calling it the genie out of the bottle problem. The genie's out of the bottle. And there was a lot of rhetoric at the RAI about like, well, we need to pause and we need to have more consideration, which I don't disagree with, but only certain constituencies are actually going to do that. Others are going to be lowering their head and charging right ahead. Right. And if that's happening at the same time, you're going to have externalities no matter how this all works out. The other issue is, I saw some interesting data about if you just look at how the markets are treating artificial intelligence investments, if you do the math as far as these crazy valuations that you're seeing and like the impact that Oracle's deal with OpenAI had just last week, they added $300 billion in valuation in a day. It all adds up to something along the lines of $1 trillion of economic activity. $1 trillion with a T, which is a lot. And as both of us being practitioners, when you see where the technology is being applied, it's generally not revenue focused right now. It's not coming out with, hey, what's a new car? What's like a new product? What's a new tube of toothpaste? Whatever it is that creates additive economic value. At the end of the day, almost all of the applications have to do with creating more efficiency. And there's only so much efficiency that you can create in faster, betterer, cheaper supply chains and automations and things like that.